Hello students, good morning, good afternoon, good evening according to the time. I welcome you to my YouTube channel English Songir. Dear students, I have been regularly present for helping you from the grammar section, literature section. Today I am present here with a new topic of the same series that I took to complete the third point of the first chapter from grammar. The name of the topic is native language and the second language. As we know that English is spoken by more than 300 million people, most of them living in North America, British Isles, Australia, Caribbean and South Africa. In several of these countries, English is not the sole language. The Quebec province of Canada is English speaking. Most of the Africans speak Afrikaans or Bantu languages. Whereas Irish and Welsh people speak Celtic languages. Those people whose native language is not English will have English as a second language for the governmental, economical, commercial, social and educational activities within their own country. English is also second language in many countries where a small proportion of the people have English as their native language. In about 25 countries, English has legally been designated as the official language, and in about 10 countries like Nigeria, it is the sole language, and in some 15 others such as India, it shares that status with one or more other languages. Most of these countries are former British territories. Besides the association of English language with the former colonial rulers, it has been retained for the pragmatic reasons. No one native language is generally acceptable. English is a neutral language and it is politically acceptable. English at the national level is used for the administrative and legal purposes. On the other hand, on the international level, it is used for science and technology. English is used as official language in the countries of such divergent backgrounds like India, Nigeria, Liberia, while in the other numerous countries like Burma, Thailand, South Korea, and in some other Middle Eastern countries, it is used for higher education. In Sri Lanka, English has lost its official status while retaining social, cultural, and economic importance, but has re-established English as the official language. So the students, you can understand the importance of English, the uses of English, and the difference between native and second language. English as a second language widely used across the world, and how the people of different and divergent backgrounds use English as a second language. Over 300 million people speak English as the second language. The significance of English for higher education in the second language speaking countries is reflected in the statistics for the book publishing and literacy of India in 1981 and 1982. India emerged as the world's third largest publisher of the books, and 41% of the books was entitled in English, but the 2.3 percent of the entire population of India represented around 15 million people that used English. So, dear students, I have told you this about the second language and native language. The second language stands on the position of second after the first language that is learnt at the madrasa or in the home. It is often learnt by the teachings of mother and father. So I hope everything is clear, and we will discuss the rest point in the next video. Don't forget to share this video to your friends. Otherwise, lots of points would be missed. Please listen to me very carefully. I haven't taken the general grammar, rather I have taken the functional grammar and comprehensive grammar. Okay, I am just telling you the history of English grammar from the beginning point, and definitely I will take you to the end of the grammar. Okay, so this grammar is something different from the traditional grammar. There may be some more points from the grammars that would be relating to the points given in your traditional grammar, and I will definitely be telling you about those points as well, how they are fully correlated with the functional grammar, and what's the importance of those points in the functional grammar, and in what reference have those points been given. Okay, so I will explain those points as well. You need not worry at all. What is the importance of those points in the functional grammar or in the comprehensive grammar, how they are associated with it, I will tell you. Okay, so I hope that you are getting me. If any problem you are facing to understand, please comment in the comment section, and I will come out with a solution. Okay, thanks for watching this video. See you again in the next video. Bye bye.